Hey guys, it's good to see you again here for door number 21 of our Crafter's Companion Advent Calendar. Thank you so much for the love that you've given from yesterday's carding project, as well as the previous ones when it comes to the comments. Some lovely, lovely comments coming through, which is really, really appreciated. As I always say, I read every single comment, so thank you so much for making this the most incredibly successful year when it comes to the Advent calendars, with the amount of views that we've got so far, combined viewed. So I am so grateful for all of that. Grateful as well for those of you that have subscribed, that have hit that bell, and then of course given me a thumbs up when it comes to these videos. It means the absolute world to me. Notice how I'm getting a bit quicker. Can I just say, I don't have to say these things. I'm not asked to say these things, but I like to say it just to give you that little bit of a reminder. But notice how I'm getting a little bit quicker when I'm saying them, just so that we can get straight into the fun part, which is all about the Advent calendar. Let's do it. Let's dive into door number 21, where we're going to see what is behind said door, what we are going to be making from that item. So let's delve in and have a look. So we're looking for 21. So 20 was there. I'm going to say on this, yes, there we go, 21. Let's open it up, see what we've got here when it comes to the door. Now we've got some presents. We've got some presents, stamping dies. We've got 3 presents, and we've got some dies to go with them. So presents and dies. Right. We can pop that away. Let's go back face on. Let's put that back on, because here we are going to do a shaker. And we're going to go and get a little bit creative when it comes to the shaker. What I mean by that, instead of using a nesting die, we're going to do our own shape. It is going to be a Christmas card, so it's going to be a nice fun one for those that still need to do a Christmas card. Or of course you can absolutely replicate this when it comes to a birthday card, changing the colours. So therefore, what are we going to need? We're going to need our card blank. Now, yes, this one is 8 by 8, but I'm going to trim this. I'm going to trim it to 5 by 7, and the reason being is because I want it to be a top fold card. So instead of just using a traditional 7, instead of it just being a normal opening 5 by 7, I want it to be a top fold 5 by 7. That's why I've cut it down from an 8 by 8, although I could have done it from 5 by 7. Sorry, 7 by 7. So I've got my card blank. We're also going to need some acetate, white multi-purpose, green texture or green card in some form, red within some form. I'm going to use Ice Grey 2 from Illustrator, Poppy DR2, Ruby DR4, Golden Yellow GY4, and Gold GY3 from the Illustrator pens. We're then also going to be using, from door number 11, we're going to be using the Happy and the Christmas stamp. And then we're also going to be using the star from the slide pop-up die set. Or of course you can use any star that you want. And I'm going to use some of these beady sequins or beady glitter from Stix2, Seeds, Beads and Glitter. This is the green one, so we're going to use that one. So, what we're going to do is, let's do our mats and layers to start with. So, let's bring in our white multi-purpose. And our white multi-purpose, for this, we are going to do 4 by 6. So, 4 by 6. Then the red, we're going to do 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Then the green we're going to do 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. So there's our mats and layers that you can see here. Then what we're wanting to do is let's bring in our white multi-purpose. Now we're going to cut this to 3 inch by 5 inch. Okay, so that's 3 by 5. And then what we're going to do, let's bring in a pen or a pencil. It can be a pen because this isn't going to be part of our card, or we're not going to use it on our card. I'm going to bring in, let's just bring in a ruler here. You can use your glass map. If I bring in the ruler, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pencil point or a little line at the halfway point. So at the 1.5 inches. So let's make that a little bit bigger just so that you can see. So that's 3 inch by 5 inch, and I've put a little point at the halfway bit up there. Now bring in either your guillotine, or I'll use my paper trimmer. What we're going to do is bottom point line up to that pencil mark. So point to point and cut. And then we're going to do the same the other way. Point to point, close and cut. So we've now got a triangle, which is going to be our tree, and it's actually going to be our aperture. So therefore, let's go in with our white multi-purpose again. Let's overlay that onto our card. And I'm going to get that as lined up the best that I can. And let's take our pencil and we're going to draw around. Now it doesn't need to be neat because we're going to cut it out and we can take out the lines from with our eraser. So you can see there, you can just see the outline there from the tree. Now your craft knife and ruler, or again, your V-blade paper trimmer. What we're going to do is I'm going to line this up when it comes to the channel. So I want to cut out this aperture here. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to go so far just to that tip, down. I'm going to do the same when it comes to here. So up to that tip. Now the tip and the bottom won't be seen. It's going to be covered slightly, so don't worry if you've got any little overhang of cuts from the V-blade. Let's bring it that way, it's easier for me to see that way. Close, and then in to that aperture there, and then take out. So we've now got our tree aperture. Again, don't worry about the little crossovers, that's not going to be seen. And then let's bring in our red liner tape. And would you believe it, from the other night, I've still not gone into my box into the other room and got more of the 6x6 that I've got. Can I just say, I've got an absolute abundance of red liner tape, and certainly 6mm that I just keep forgetting going in. So I'm just going to use my thicker red liner tape. As I say, this could be your thin red liner tape, don't worry. Let's tape that in. What I'm going to do though, we only need enough to of course cover that aperture, but just to create, as always, extra strength and stability, I'm just going to add extra. This is overkill, you don't need to do this, so if you're limited on your adhesive, then don't worry. All you do need is enough to go around the back of the tree. But let's snip that off. And to make it easier for myself, instead of cutting my acetate to size, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to stick this straight on my acetate and then I can cut around. So let's peel all of that off. So if I take all that off, all the way around, like so, I'm just going to I was just asking my certain device just to turn down a little notch. I don't want the music to be fully caught, and then this tutorial gets muted. So now that we've got the backing on, let's bring in my acetate here, and let's go that way. So I say, just to make it completely easier for myself, I'm just going to overlay straight over the top, and then I'm going to cut around. And of course you can then cut to size if you want, it's entirely up to yourself. So let's cut away that excess. And we'll be careful as I cut, because I don't want to cut any of my white cardstock. Can cut it with your guillotine, your paper trimmer, your craft knife, or of course your scissors. But also by doing it this way, by making sure the acetate's covering the back completely, it's just giving it more, your card, more strength and stability. So let's trim all the way round, and then there we've got our tree. Now, when it comes to matting and layering, when we put it on there, we're going to see the red on the back. Now, I don't want to see the red because you don't get red Christmas trees. We want it to be green. So therefore, let's bring in our paper trimmer, and I'm going to gut all the way round. So I'm going to come up to, I want a really thin notch. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to come in at the 1/2 inch. So if you're coming from the left hand side in, I'm going to that 1/2 inch mark. And then we're going to gut all the way round into there. Twist and turn all the way round. Twist and turn. So if we've got any bits we just need to pop out, we can do that. I'm just going to pop them out with my finger. And let's see if that's going to be enough. Yeah, that's fine. We see none of that red underneath there. So when we do mat and layer, we're going to have that green tree popping through. So we've got all of those. So what I'm going to do first of all is let's mat and layer this together. And I'm going to use my tacky glue because the layer is now quite flimsy and flexible. So therefore, as much as I love my double-sided tape, sometimes it can be a little bit more of a struggle to get it bang on because you've got that flexibility to it. So therefore, if I bring in my tacky glue, my red glue, of course I use Stix2's when at home. It could be our Call tacky glue. And then there we go. We've got our layer all good to go. What I am just going to do is let's take another bit of red. Let's do our insert while we're here as well. So let's bring in our white, and let's bring in our guillotine. So the card is 5x7. So let's do 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then our white can be 4.5 by 6.5. Let's bring, I'm just going to use my double-sided tape. Let's bring that in here. So let's line and layer this up. Let's add that in. Now remember, when it comes to the lay down of my tape, you can see that I'm going side to side here. There's no reason as to why I go side to side or if I go all the way round. There's no rhyme nor reason as to do that. For those that watch on, a daily basis, I know I say it quite often, but for those of you that are new and you think, well, 1 minute Craig's going all the way round and then the next minute he's going side to side, is there a reason? No, there's not. There's no reason whatsoever. It's just the way that I go and apply it at the time. So for instance, purposely this time, I'm going all the way round just to show you the difference. So sometimes I'll go around, sometimes I'll go side to side, but there's not a reason as to why I do that. So let's take these off. Now with all of these as well, within each of the doors, each of the days, I'm adding in a blank matte layer insert. As you're making it, you might already know who it's going to be going to, and therefore you want to put the appropriate insert in at the time, which you can do. I think it's just nice to add in an insert, even though I don't know who they're going to go to at the moment. It's nice just to add that insert in. Let's add this layer all together first of all. So if I add these ones in, so work our way around. So if I assemble the card, and then we can come along and then bring in our stamping dies from this door. So let's add that onto there. As usual, giving me a deep white border all the way around, which I like. And then we're going to go in with our aperture. So let's go in with our aperture. We're going to go in with our foam strips here. And in actual fact, you can use your foam strips. I am going to, I've got deeper, if I can find it. Where is it? Here's my big foam on a great big roll. Let's bring this in. We've got a deep, huge big foam on a roll. So let's add that around. So we're going to work our way. Now, this foam on a roll that I'm using is, of course, Stix2. And it is 4 mil in depth. So it's quite thick. And as you can see, it's quite wide, which I am wanting. But if you want to use just your normal strip foam pads, then you can do. Or just your normal sized foam on a roll, you can do. Whatever it is you're using, you just want to make sure, as always, that you've got no gaps. So I'm pressing that right up against each other. You want to make sure you've got no gaps, so nothing's going to fall out. Certainly with what I'm using here, we've got really minute, small pieces. So I want to then make sure I get that quite there. Oh, perfect. Press that in, hold that in. I'm going to stabilise that on the outer edge as well. Press that, hold that. Let's then work that in, like so. Any of these little bits, don't waste them, just pop them in. Add these in. Again, not wasting any of that. Now some may see this as being overkill when it comes to the layers, which it could potentially be. You know, you're maybe limited on the amount of adhesive that you've got. I know I'm fortunate that I've got all the adhesive that I want on tap that I can use and get whenever I want. But for this, I wanted to have that thicker layer. You could always do what I done the other day when I done a shaker, and that was, if you're using the strips, like the strips that you get, you can always double layer. But if you've got foam on a roll or foam pads or foam strips that are thick, then you can use them. So let's move all that out the way. Let's bring in now whatever you're going to use as a shaker. Now, I know there's many ways in which you can do your shakers. I know some like to do a layer of acetate. Like some will like to put their shaker in there and then put a layer of acetate to then, of course, sandwich it. I'm not a fan of doing that. Just my preference. Nothing wrong with it. It works. It works well. It's just I'm not a fan of doing that. And we all have our ways that we like. And there's nothing wrong with different ways. There's nothing wrong with you not being a fan or you not doing something in a certain way. It's all unique to us. We can do as we want. So let's make sure any of that excess on that outer edge is pushed in. Now before I do commit to the stick, I want to make sure, so I want to push that in more and move it in. For me, doing it this way is easy. For some, it might be a little bit more difficult. So you want to do that acetate layer. So we're going to come along, line that up, press that in, hold that down, give it a really, really good press. And then there we go. We've got our Christmas tree shaker. How cool is that? So creating our own aperture at a triangle, which was 3 by 5, and then we just cut to a point. So there's the basis of our card done. So what we're going to do is then, before we start to use today's items, I'm going to take a strip here. And I'm going to cut this to, let's say about 3, no, I'm going to cut it to 3 inch. Yeah. And when it comes to my guillotine, I'm just going to come and line it up just before the silver edge ends. Yeah. Yep, actually maybe just a teeny tiny little bit more. Yep. So it's 3 inch by, what's that? Just about 1/2 inch. 3 inch by 1/2 inch. So let's move that out the way. Then we're going to come along with our stamping platform. We're going to pop that in. I'm going to try and get that central, just so I can line up my sentiment. Let's come in with Christmas. That's going to sit into there. That's fine. And then, even though I'm not doing anything water-based, I'm going to come along with my waterproof Noir Black, because I find that gives a really sharp impression. Must be something to do within the water-based ink. Press that in, and we've got Christmas. So clean that off, and that is that one. So let's move all that out the way. Let's move that out the way just now, Craig. Let's get yourself sorted and tidied. What I then want to do is, if I bring it in, let's come in. Now, the one colour I have forgotten to get out, so let's just do that now, is a little bit of yellow, or a little bit of gold. When I say gold, I don't mean gold, I mean, so if I use the Brights 12 by 12, and let's go that darker yellow. Have I got a smaller bit? Yeah, I do. So we're going to go into there. So it's not the bright yellow, it's that middle of the road. So let's take our guillotine. Actually, before I do the guillotine, let's add our tape on. Let's take that off. And then I don't want a matten layer all the way round. I just want top and bottom. So therefore, and I want a really thin matten layer. There we go, that'll be fine. So let's trim that. I might just need a little bit more. So let's take that excess off there. Trim a tiny little bit more. There we go. Christmas. So that's going to go across there. And don't need my guillotine now, so therefore let's take our star. So I'm going to use the medium one and then also the smaller one. Ouch. Watch yourself with your poke tool because it is sharp. Give yourself a little blood test. Let me just pop that there. So let's move that out the way, and we're going to take that yellow again. So we're going to do the yellow with the big star. Let's bring in the red when it comes to the smaller star. We're going to bring in that happy that came with the Christmas. That can go into there, like so. And for these, let's just use our mini. So take that down and take that down. Let's bring in all of these in. And then once we've done the happy in red, we'll do it again, but we'll do it in yellow. So there's our star. So you can start to see where we're going with this. I have to say, between the love card that I done with the ribbon, the baby card that I done yesterday, and this one here, these are three of my favourite demos I've done when it comes to the advent calendar. I'm not even started on the actual items that you get behind today's door. So then let's take the yellow, and we're going to do the same. So take that down, run that one through. Just set that out the way for now because we're going to need it again just shortly. Pop that out, move that out, bring that in, and then let's do our drop shadow first. So I'm going to go red onto the yellow, like so. Let's move that in into there. Move it, manipulate. And there we go, we've got happy with our drop shadow. Let me just move that back in, like so. Let's just build it. I'm not going to put these on the card just yet, but what I am going to do is build them up. So let's bring in my smaller 5x5 foam pads. I'm going to pop that into there, and that can sit into there. Let's just get that positioned. I'm being pernickety here, I want it kind of perfect. He says, come on Craig, stop faffing about. There we go. So there's our star. And then while I'm here as well, let's bring in our strips. Let's get these ones there. And let's pop that one there. That one there. I just need to snip away that end. And then that will be going like that. You can see here. But we, of course, we need the presents. Now, for the presents, I am just going to do these on white multi-purpose. You can do them on Nina if you want. but I'm not going to be doing lots of blending as such. I'm just going to do a two-tone blend. So let's bring in my stamping platform, bring in pens, and for this I'm just going to use my stamping mat. I'm just going to use my acrylic block here, and because these are brand new, unused, I'm just going to give that a good little coverage with my translucent clear watermark, just to kind of prime it. Now for this barrel present, I'm going to do 1, and I'm going to do 2. Take all that excess off here, because we want that little bit of scope, because we're going to, of course, die cut. Let's bring in the smaller present, translucent clear waterproof ink pad. We're going to go over, we're going to press. Now for this one, let's do about 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Take that off, move that, then we're going to go in the next one. And then this one, let's do 1, 2, 3, let's do 4. So let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's my presents done. So we can move that, move all that, bring that in. And then I also need just a little bit of scrap, which I'll do here. So let's bring in our pen. So let's start with our Poppy and Ruby. So as I said before, we're not going to do like 3-tone blends. We're just going to keep it really, really simple. So this one, what we're going to do is we're going to go in with the Poppy to start with. And we're keeping it simple with the colour. We're going to go in direct with the Poppy. And I'm going to do the same at the lid. So once we've done that, we're then going to go in with the Ruby, so the DR4. And I'm just going to go around with the chisel nib. And I'm just going to squiggle down the side. I'm going to come along a little bit. And then I'm going to come along. And that's it. That's all that I'm doing. So no 3-tone blend, nothing like that. Just a 2-tone. Let's come in with our gold. And our gold, we're going to colour. So the whole presents will be alternating. And then we're going to go in with the yellow gold. And we're going to do something similar. We're just going to go into the edge just lightly. And that's it. That's all we're doing. The next barrel, we're going to do the opposite. So let's go in with the gold. Like so. Then we're going to go in with the gold on this one. And then we're also then going to go gold at the top. Then we're going to go in with the yellow gold. And we're going to squiggle and come down. Squiggle and then come along. I'm not going to blend them out or anything like that. We're leaving it as it is. Then for this one, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to go in with the Poppy. Like so. And then we're going to go in with the Ruby. And then come along. And then that's it. That's all we're doing with those two. Then what we're going to do is let's have a look at these two. So these two, let's start with the red. So I'm going to go in with the bullet nibs here. And then when it comes to the present, let's go in with the poppy. So we're wanting to do the actual box of the present, not the wrapping just yet, because that will be the gold. So let's come down into there. And then we're going to go in with the ruby. And just lightly, we're just drawing down the side, along, and a little bit of shading. And that is it. We're then going to go in with the gold. And then we're going to colour in. So we're doing the full bow. So in with the bow there. And then we're going to go in with the gold yellow. So where we've got just underneath those loops there, where it would be darker, we're going to colour in. Same with the bow down there. Just lightly down the centre, maybe around, round, and that's it. Let's do this exactly the same with this one. So we're doing what we've done a moment ago. So we're going to colour in with the ruby. I'm going to go into there. And then we're going to go, sorry, that was the poppy. We're now going to go in with the ruby. Do the same again, just under where we would have that dark shade. So we're not complicating this whatsoever. We're keeping this colour and this blend simple. So we're going in with the gold now. Colouring in the bows. Like so. Then we're going to go in with a gold yellow. And do the same, so just underneath the loops of the bow, in the centre, maybe down there, and then that's it. Then what we're going to do is, we're going to do these two, but we're going to do it the opposite. So therefore this time, I need the gold first. So this time, we're going to colour in the actual present within the gold. Like so. Then we're going to go in with a gold yellow. Come down the edge, around, down, along, just roughly. We're not complicating this at all. And then we're going to go in with the poppy. Colouring in the bows and the loops. Into there. We're then going to go into the ruby. Down the side, underneath the loops, in the centre, there, down. That's it. Repeat that step again. So we're going in with the gold. Colour that in. You can see here. Like so. Go in with the gold yellow. Down, down, down. Then we're going to go in with the poppy. So let's go in with the poppy. Like so. Now if you want to spend lots of time on the blend, the colour, the shade, you can do that. It's not that I'm purposely not doing it. I'm just wanting to show how you can get a really nice effect, but you don't need to spend too long. And then we're going to go in with these last few here. So what I'm going to do, just to make it a little bit easier for myself. So let's start with the poppy. So we're going to do 2 exactly the same. So we're going to go in there. Colour in. Nothing stopping you from doing these with your tri-blends, classics, or do your watercolour in. Just need to change your ink pad and your cardstock. So there's that one. Let's go in with the ruby. And this time, we're just going to come along the outer box. And then I'm also just going to come down, 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 where there would be any shading. Then before I go into the gold, let's replicate that again. So we're in the poppy. Let's work our way in. Come in there. Work our way in. Like so. Let's go in with the ruby. Work our way around that outer edge. Like so. Come down, along. Remember, I'm not going back in to blend them in. You can if you want to, but I'm not. Then we're going to go in with the gold. So the gold. We're going to colour down and along. Let's colour down and along. We're then going to go in with a gold yellow. Create that little bit of depth. Into there, down, down. That's those two. And then let's go back to the gold. And this time we're going to do the exact opposite. You can have so much fun with the colour choices that you have. You can go monochromatic, you can go pastel, you can go dark, traditional, whatever you like, but I'm just keeping this with the red and the gold theme. Then we're going to go into the gold and yellow around that outer edge of the box. Down, 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 along. Do the same within this last one here. So going in with the gold. Fill that in. Give our squeaky little mouse. Apologies if that noise bothers you. Then we're going to go in with the gold yellow again. Colour, work our way down, around, down, in, and in. Then we're going to jump to the poppy. Colour these ones in. So very repetitive, these ones. but I like that colour coordination, the way the card will look. Like so. And then go in with the ruby, going down, down in that centre, in that loop, into there, down, centre, loop, like so. Then what we're going to do, I'm not going to go around the outer edge with the grey just yet, simply because it's just going to be a little bit easier by doing it afterwards. So if I draw it all the way around, there'll be some bits that I miss because the die will be bigger than the actual aperture. So therefore, let's bring all of these in. Now I know usually I always say to stamp, cut, then colour. So I am going against what I usually do, but I know as long as I secure these down well, they're not going to budge. So let's position them into there. There's that one, there's that one. And then that one. Bring in our folder. Let's bring all these in. I just managed to sandwich them all in. He says, I'm trying to be clever here by running them through. Let's see if I can get that one in. So these, that. So let's take that off, and that one off. So if I bring that in, and we're going to do exactly the same. If I tape that in, we're going to tape that in to there, around that outer edge, and then we've got our smaller one. Tape that in. Do the same again. Let's see if I can get all of these, 3 of these ones in at once. Budge that in. Run that one through. So we're going to get that one going. And then I can budge that in. So there's another one. Another one. And then another one. Let's bring in this one and do that again. So position that all the way around. So I don't need that die anymore, but I still need that one. I'm going to then bring and move that there. Feed that through, so that one slips out. And then last 2, so there's that one, there's that one, and that can go into there. That one can then come into there. And then we're going to run that one through. And then that means all that we need to do is go around that outer edge with our grey. Let's bring that in. And I'm just roughly going round. If I'd done this first, I know that I wouldn't have quite given it as much of a thicker outline. So therefore, that's why I've cut it and then I'm going around. So I know, because what I probably would have done, drawn around with the grey, then cut it out, and then notice, because it's a thicker outline, I would have missed some white, so I would have had to go around it anyway. So therefore, that's why I'm doing it all in a oneer. So if I then come in here, so just working my way around very quickly, not overcomplicating it at all like I've not been doing with the other ones. So working our way in, bringing it in. It just takes away that white edge, which works when it comes to the lay down that we're away to do. Let's bring these in. Scribble, scribble, scribble. All the way around that outer edge. This would work if you want to do maybe a light blue or something, that would work as well. Of course you don't have to do this, but you guys know by now it's something that I do most of the time. So those are those ones. And then work that round, in, out, and around, in, out, all around. So quite a lengthy demo, this one, with all the layers, the construction, the stamping, the colouring, the cutting. And then the last one, again around, follow it around, into position, into there, and then there we go. So that is all of these ones now. And then don't fear what I'm going to do with this one, just one of them. I'm going to come along, cut it in half. Let's bring in our card. Bring in all these components. So if I bring this in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, and then that one, I'm just going to use my glue for that. So that I'm going to sit into, actually stick it on the acetate there. And then when it comes to these two parcels, I'm going to do the same. Let's set that one to the side there. So we're going to have symmetry. So I'm going to go in with that one there. This barrel present, actually I'm going to see, yeah, there we go. I can tuck that underneath there. So that's that one. Then that is also going to go flat there. Press that in. That is going to go flat there. Then we're going to go with the two red ones. So that's then going to go flat there. That is going to go flat there. But then what we're going to do is we're going to come in with that barrel one. That one we're going to put some foam pads. So we're giving it a little bit of extra depth. We've got symmetry, but we've got that little bit of extra depth. So that's going to sit, let's move that ever so slightly. That is then going to go into there. And then we've got our two last presents. So let's pop foam pads there and there. You know how much I love that off the page look. So for that one, that's then going to come down into there. And then that one is also going to come to the other side here. So we've got that continuation when it comes to the presents. We're building up. We're going to come in with that star. So that star can then go up to the top there. We're going to bring in our sentiment. That's going to sit just there. And then I'm going to come in with the happy. And we're going to use our tacky glue that you can see there. And that one can sit nicely across there. And then there we go. We've got our shaker card that we've created and built ourselves. We've got that depth and dimension when it comes to the presents. So if I bring that one in, so you can see here. Let's bring that a little bit closer for you to see. We've got that shaker 5 by 7 that we've got there into place. And now let's bring that in for you guys to see close up again. Happy Christmas. And there we go. 5 by 7 top fold card with the items from door number 21 of our advent calendars. Use our Illustrator pens and use a couple of other components as well. There we go. I hope you liked that one. Like I say, that was a little bit more of a longer demonstration, that one from door number 21, but a really fab one, if I do say so myself. Thank you once again for tuning in, joining in. I will see you same time tomorrow for door number 22 of our Crafter's Companion Advent Calendar. Thank you so much for joining me here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. Until tomorrow, we will see you then. Bye.